Tom did not like to go to school. He sneaked away from school and had a very good time swimming in the river on Friday. Aunt Polly asked him about his day in the school. He answered Aunt Polly's questions very carefully, but she caught him. She gave him a good shake.
Tomorrow is Saturday. It will be no holiday for you. You will paint the fence, and until it is all finished, you will not be free to play.
The next morning was Saturday. It was a bright, fresh day, full of life, and meant to be spent enjoying oneself. After breakfast, Aunt Polly gave Tom a bucket of paint and a long-handled brush. She instructed Tom to paint the fence. Tom groaned. It was a huge fence. It would take him at least a week to do it properly, the way Aunt Polly wanted. Even if he rushed through it, it would take him the whole day. What a hateful way to spend a Saturday. Slowly, he dipped the brush in the bucket of paint and passed it along the topmost plank. He had hardly finished his first brush stroke when Jim, the little black boy who helped Aunt Polly in the kitchen, came dancing out of the house. Tom began to persuade him to do his work, but his aunt came out just then. Jim went flying down the road, and Tom was back at his job. Then suddenly, an idea came to Tom's mind. The idea was so brilliant that it danced around in joy. He began to work happily. He looked totally absorbed in his work and very happy, like an artist who was doing exactly what he wanted to do. All he needed to do was wait for a friend to come by. Soon he saw Ben Rogers coming down the road, singing and munching a big red apple. Tom shared as if he was taking interest in his work. Even when Ben called out to him, he paid no attention. As he worked, he smiled as if he was really enjoying himself, and every stroke of the brush brought him great satisfaction. Anyone seeing him could have known that his mouth was watering for the apple that Ben was eating. As Ben called Tom again, he finally turned. "Oh, it's you! I did not notice." Ben asked gleefully, "I'm going for swimming today. Don't you wish you could come too? But oh, no, you have to work." "Work? This is work? Well, it suits me." Ben stared at him as if he could not believe his ears. Tom said casually, "Why shouldn't I like it? It's not every day that a boy gets a chance to paint a fence like this." Ben had not thought of it in that light. He stood back and began to watch. Soon he was begging Tom to let him paint a bit of the fence. "No, Ben, I'm sorry. I cannot let you. Aunt Polly is very particular about this fence. One has to be very careful to do this job." Jim asked Aunt Polly if he could. Even Sid begged to be allowed to do it, but she would not trust them to do a proper job. Tom said slowly and continued applying gentle strokes. Tom only agreed when Ben gave him the rest of his apple. Then Tom sat on a stone, happily munching the apple as his friend worked away. All of Tom's friends who walked by stopped to jeer but stayed to work that day. By that afternoon, the fence had 3 wonderful coats of paint on it. Tom had collected 12 marbles, a key, some chalks, a kitten, a brass doorknob, and 2 tadpoles. At the end of the afternoon, Tom told Aunt Polly that he had painted the fence. Aunt Polly could not believe him. She came outside and saw the fence was actually painted. She gave Tom a juicy apple and a donut as a reward for his hard work because the fence was looking so fine. It was a good thing for Tom that she never guessed the truth.